Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks again for joining me here. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Quick look again at ICP, double checking a couple of key factors here. We want to look for this ABC pattern that could be potentially playing out here as we speak, whereas the price action has hit its top and effectively trying to find its bottom. A lot of times the bottom can be a more recent fib level here, which we can see at that 0.236, that 1305. We actually talked about that yesterday, being a potential area of retracement. So we're going to kind of focus on that and take a look there, and obviously look at some back-end data too, see where we're at. So if you're new to the channel, welcome to the show here. Hopefully you can learn something here today. I've been teaching and trading for a very long time. I basically have a trading academy, community, and signals group if you're curious about maybe becoming a community member. We got a lot of new members coming over, so make sure you read through our signals guide. That is available here in our premium section. We can kind of learn to understand how my trades are structured. Also, congrats to our community members. Nice 60% profit from Cardano, Caspa 30%, ICP 70%, BSV 40, and what was it? There we go, AVAX are 44%. So we've been sweeping in some pretty decent amount of profit here recently. So congrats and thanks so much for the wonderful feedback. Now ICP, are we going to take another trade here? It's possible, but we want to find out a few things first. But okay. So we talked about this level being very consistent. It's even consistent on the monthly. It was halfway swept here. We got this $14 mark. Now a lot of liquidation there at this point, mainly because new shorts entered the market. They're like, oh no, this is a support level or resistance. We're going to short this level. Okay, it makes sense because we are overextended. A lot of coins are, so pulling back would be sensible at this point. So try not to get blinded by the fact that there is liquidation above the price. While that should be swept, it may not be swept immediately. What will likely be swept here is this most recent low at about 1220. We can see the price action with a decent amount between, just say, 1220 as low as about 1150. Okay, so there's just areas of retracement potential based on key fib levels in most cases, because that's again where liquidation typically occurs. Okay, so we're going to pull this fib out here a little bit more, kind of see where we're at. We're so far pivoting off this 0.236 fib level, so if everything goes the way it should, we could see the price come up here for a bearish backtest of the recent resistance at 1360, and then of course pulling back to the next key fib level at 0.382 or 0.5. I'll update these levels here because again, a lot of times the ABC pattern will be based on smaller time frame fibs, not the large time fibs. So we could actually see the price action come down as low as 0.5, come up to this 0.236, then back down to 0.618. So either way you look at it, that $12.95, that $13 mark is a pretty consistent common denominator we're seeing on this coin. Okay, so that would make sense for the the more realistic areas of retracement. Let's look at the hourly and kind of see where we're at here, or sorry, the daily. Work our way down. We are now underneath this point of control here. So we've got, if we're zoomed out completely, of course, this is a lot of data, but back as far as December, we can see 1325 is that point of control, and we're pretty much right smack dab there at that point, just barely below it. So keep in mind that the average person, the average consumer has Bitcoin at this level. So that's basically where we're at. We also want to look here at stochastic RSI swinging down. We can see MACD and a few other confirming factors. Minus the stochastic swinging down, most things are generally in positive shape. Now don't get me wrong, being barely above 50 on the RSI isn't a phenomenal thing. Okay, so ICP is having some difficulty crossing this plane. It should break out. I think there was a recent cup and handle pattern that broke out to retest this upper level. That's how we secured profit too. We had our levels just above that most recent high for one of our take profit targets. So generally speaking, the daily time frame is looking pretty decent, but until we get up over this 50-day SMA, which is tentatively rejecting the price action right now, we have no reason to feel like we're bullish on this coin. Yeah, at least me personally. Once again, we got this pretty obvious level here where we can see the price action is having difficulty crossing. We could basically just cross this out here and just give us the perspective that, hey, this $1360 mark is a pretty significant resistance. Until we break above that and retest that as a new low, there's really no consideration for, like a crazy long position. Now, I generally never recommend crazy long positions. We took a long position that was very conservative, and what was a 5x leverage trade that took us, 10 days for 70%. I'll take that any day, folks. I mean, I don't care if there's people saying they can get that with 20x leverage in the same day as I, as long as it hits profit, it's the important thing. The cool thing is we didn't have a lot of risk involved with that trade, and that's the beautiful thing about low leverage and low position sizing. So it's kind of our motto in our community. If you're a big risk taker, you're probably in the wrong place. I like to be a little more conservative and realistic with my trading, because I traded traditional markets for somewhere in the range of 15 to 20 years. So again, what do I know? At this point, what we're going to look at is the 4-hour time frame. Let's double check a couple things. We are above all moving averages. 4 hours time frame is actually looking quite solid. So it does incentivize the price action to bounce off this current level at 1320. possibly a retracement down to that 1280/1295 area I talked about earlier. We're at 50 in the RSI, or getting close to, so we should have a good area of potential bounce. We also got stochastic pulling back, just kind of letting us know we're shifting momentum, and MACD is diverging now, or soon to diverge, pretty much there. So I would think it would be best to presume the price will pull back a little further than it is right now, but if it doesn't, it would also make sense for the price to come up and try to retest its most recent high for a progression to the downside. So if you're going to consider shorting this coin, wait for it to try to pull back again, and then if it gets stopped out at that $14 mark, then consider that. But once more, you got to recognize we're still above this ascending trend line. There's zero reason to consider a short because of that. So to me personally, being above an ascending trend line is really just a confirming factor, along with these moving averages here too. So I don't care if stochastic tells me it wants to come down. I don't care if MACD tells me it wants to pull back. While that might be true in the short-term time frame, long-term, the likelihood of this price action bouncing off this level, whether or not it ABCs out into it or effectively just continues straight for it, there's a stronger probability the price will break to the upside, because again, we got a lot of liquidation upwards. Furthermore, we keep retesting this level, it's inevitably going to break. We tried 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times on the 4-hour time frame. That's a 24-hour period. The price couldn't get past that level. Okay, it's pulling back, and it'll likely try again. So just keep that in mind. Last thing we want to talk about would be the hourly. This is just going to give us some confirming factors here, letting us know that we have since shifted our momentum. Lagging spans within the price action and just below it, generally unfavorable to the upside. We can also see here conversion line and the baseline intersecting, generally unfavorable. Same thing here as well, where we're getting close to the cloud. While we're still above it, and that's positive, if we officially break below by closing at just say $13 or lower, maybe $13.10 or lower, then there's a solid consideration for a short at that point. However, again, we're still going to be honoring the descending trend line, so we probably want to wait a little bit longer. And I know this is difficult for a lot of people. Patience is not majority of crypto traders' strong suit is not patience. We'll just put it that way. Thankfully, I was blessed with the opportunity to be able to just kind of be patient and wait for good things. I've done that my whole life, so it makes it a little easier. So if you're an impatient type of person, I tell you, it's an area you probably just want to try to work on. Easier said than done. The truth here is, though, being patient, waiting for confirmation, while you're going to miss plenty of opportunities in the market, you're also going to find better opportunities. Okay, and that's what we do here. While I've probably only sent maybe maybe like somewhere in the range of 5 to 10 signals in the last 2 weeks, which isn't a lot. They've all hit their targets minus one that's still open. And that's one's actually still in the green, or RDNT, that had a really weird candle wick down on KuCoin, but everything else is good. So anyways, conversation for another day. Just trying to get you to understand that, it's okay to wait for a good opportunity. And right now, we're kind of in this weird transition. We're taking along, it's a little premature, but it's also very premature to take a short, even though we are shifting momentum. If that makes any sense. Okay. All right. Hopefully I clarified that correctly. Do me a favor again before we part ways here. Hit the like button. Comment below if you get a chance. Do yourself a favor. Join us over on BitUnix. Phenomenal exchange, folks. I like to promote them because they are excellent to our community. They've treated us very well. No KYC or VPN requirements, and significant $5,500 in rewards to use my link to register. They got really cool, fun little bonuses. Check them out, folks. Anyway, I hope you have a good rest of your day. Deeply appreciate your time. We'll see you soon.